Hey everybody, it's me, Edward Jones, back with a new video. New York City is done. Zoran Mandani, he's poised to win the mayoral election in New York City. And and I've long ago written off New York. I'm from there. I'm from Brooklyn. Last time I was in Brooklyn, New York, was in the summer of 2010, and that was just to close up some deal with some personal business. Since I was basically relocating to South Carolina permanently, it seemed. And and I remember the last time I was there, I took a bus. I like taking the bus. I like Greyhound buses. I took a bus from South Carolina to New York. And I tried to walk. I wanted to walk from Port Authority Terminal to Myrtle Avenue, where I used to live. And if you're familiar with New York City, that's quite a hike. And I got as far as to the Queensboro Bridge. And my mom called me. Said, "Where are you?" It was getting dark. She said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm walking." So I actually walked from Port Authority Terminal to the Queensboro Bridge. And I told her what I was doing. She said, He said, "Get in the cab and get yourself to the apartment." Um, I wasn't, really, I wasn't concerned personally, but for her sake, I said, "All right, I'll get a cab and I'll go home." And I was there for about a week. I came back and I haven't been back to New York since. I've had family ask me, "You ever gonna come back to New York City? My mom asked me, "You gonna pay me a visit?" No, no, because from there, it was just different. It got more expensive. The laws they started coming up with were just outrageous. I remember it was like there was a ban on cup sizes. You couldn't have, I think it was, you couldn't have there was a ban on drinks over 16 ounces. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. And then they started doing checks, bag checks in the subway. That was what got me, because I don't want to check my bag. I learned to pack light. But if I had to take a subway, the last thing I need is NYPD, rifling through my stuff. Um, looking for whatever it is they're gonna look for. Probably looking for guns, stuff like that. Which me, Yeah, I wasn't gonna be having it. I wasn't gonna be having it in New York City. Fast forward, they stand to elect an actual communist as a mayor, a Muslim communist as a mayor at that. And I was like, my wife, she's never been to New York. She's never been to New York City. She's expressed some interest in going there to just to see it, just to pay a visit. And I told her, I said, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. And after this, if Zoran Domini winning, no, no. Basically, I'd say that if you're in New York and if you're in the know, and if you can see pretty far, I would suggest you start making plans of leaving. I mean, I know a lot of businesses have closed down. A lot of billionaires have left New York City because of the COVID restrictions. Um, Just the mess that went on after 2020. A lot of them had left. And they had good reason. Just the city itself. I used to say that if I were to go back, it'd just be for food and for family. For pizza. I love New York pizza. That will not change for me. I love New York pizza. And I would say for pizza and for family. And then I worked in a pizzeria in Columbia, South Carolina, and and I was like, well, and most of my family are now going to be up there, so and I got pizza down here, so what do I have to look forward to going to New York City for? So yeah, I used to work at a pizzeria. I worked at a pizzeria that was started by brothers and a friend from Rochester, New York. So I was one of the it was four of us that were actually New Yorkers, and that worked at the place. So it was quite an experience, quite a culture, quite a callback to where I used to live. Granted they lived in Yonkers, it was still cool, to work in that environment. But it was still a thing where it's I mean, I go back. They're not going back to New York City. It's like this. They're just done. I'm not going back to New York, so I'm I'm definitely not going back. Really, New York City being ran by being led by a communist Muslim. Not that's not to say that it's not to say that Andrew Cuomo would have been much of an improvement. Curtis Sliwa, I didn't know much about him. He was a Republican running in there in New York City, which I'm surprised he got as far as he did. They were even saying that if Cuomo had dropped out, Mandami could actually have lost, could have potentially lost because Curtis Sliwa would actually have more support if the vote had not been divvied up. Apparently, a lot of Mandami's a lot of his supporters are from outside of New York City. He's not really that popular, but apparently he's winning, and so there's a saying that if you put it's like if you put a government in the Sahara Desert in 5 years, it would be a shortage of sand. I think if you put a commie as the mayor of New York City, give it 2 years, there's gonna be a shortage of rats because I don't know what they're gonna be eating. I don't know what they're gonna be, what they're gonna live off of. I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. What the economy is gonna look like. But think about it. A communist mayor of New York City, one of our few major, really major metropolitan areas in this country. Communist Muslim mayor. Yeah, I don't think I'm going back. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. Yeah, but we'll see. Hey, that's my prediction. I think New York City's done for. And the thing is, I'm not entirely surprised by this. That place has been it's been a leftist it's been a leftist city for decades, and they finally got to the point where they're poised to elect a communist mayor. I'm not surprised, you know, and it's sad, but I'm not surprised. I think a part of it. I think a part of it comes from that you have a lot of people from different backgrounds living in New York City. Not exactly. Not there really is. There really well, there is a New York City culture, but there is something that where everybody is assimilated into. I think because you still have you still have different neighborhoods and different boroughs from different backgrounds, whether it be Italian, Chinese, Russian, Czech, Greek, Puerto Rican, what have you? It's Nigerian. There's so many different there's so many different groups living in this area, and I think what makes something uniquely American is kind of getting pushed out in favor of a lot of this multiculturalism. And I think a lot of the places where these cultures have come from, where these various cultures have come from, leftism seems to be a common thread. So I think it kind of makes sense that it's gotten to this point. And it's sad, but like I said, we'll see. I don't think it's going to turn out pretty. I think it's gonna hit. I think it's gonna. I think New York City's gonna pay a major economic toll, a massive cultural toll, and I think it's interesting. Because the only other place I know that's primarily primarily a Muslim area is Dearborn, Michigan. But apparently Minneapolis is going to be going that same route with a lot of Somalians that's been there. Yeah, especially with the Minnesota flag has been changed. It looks more a little like the Somalian flag. So who knows what's going to happen in New York City? I know a lot of people are, they're afraid of being called Islamophobic, but I mean, but like I said, there isn't a really an American culture that can be found in that can be really be found in New York City. It seems because, like I said, it's an amalgamation of so many different cultures into one area. It's not really, this whole melting pot idea. Well, if everything's melted, what is it form into? And that's a big question. And what can you expect from a communist mayor? Oh boy, man, I think I said my piece on this one. um, at least I can get New York pizza where I'm at in South Carolina. So there's that. But please tell me what you think. If you live in New York City, how are you faring? Are you a supporter of Zohran Mamdani? Are you looking forward to this change? Are you wary as I am? Uh, I know actual Justice Warrior is gonna have a lot of content for his channel after this election, so pray for him. He lives in New York. He just got married. He just got married not too long ago. He's living in New York City. Um, like, share, subscribe. Like, want to help out with the channel? Go to my homepage on YouTube. Look for the PayPal link or the Cash App link. All donation amounts appreciated. Any gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I'll see what I can do to address them. If you think I'm off my rocker, out of my mind, way off base about what I think about New York City, hey, like I said, leave a comment in the comment section. I won't no censorship for this channel. New York City's done for. I'm Edward Jones. You guys take care, be safe, stay strapped, and God bless.